Good morning, welcome to your Monday, September 10th, 10 a.m. weather briefing. Yesterday across the region, we had a dreary day with plenty of rainfall across the area. Here at Wallops, we picked up 0.84 inches of rain. Most rainfall was experienced at Pax River. They saw 3.35 inches of rainfall. The rest of the region seeing anywhere from a trace of rainfall to just over 3.25 inches. Temperatures yesterday ranging in the mid 60s to our north and lower 70s to mid 80s as we go further south. 83 degrees was the warmest temperature, 75 degrees here at Wallops, and overnight lows 61 degrees at Baltimore was the cool spot here at Wallops. Got down to a low of 71 degrees. Currently across the area, we did have rainfall earlier this morning that is now dissipated. We have cloudy conditions here at Wallops with a temperature of 73 degrees, as of 9 a.m. Upper air sounding from this morning showing a northeasterly wind at 26 knots at the 1,000-foot level. That is our wind max as we start to see winds beginning to die out more as we go up through the atmosphere and shifting more southwesterly to westerly as we go up through the atmosphere. Freezing level this morning was at 15,400 feet. Surface analysis from this morning still depicting a warm front that is labeled as a stationary boundary. However, it is slowly pushing northward as more of a warm front this morning. It'll be north of the region here. Later this morning, eventually giving way to more mostly cloudy skies, and we'll start to see a return to more humid conditions as well, with this warm front beginning to finally push a little bit farther north of the region this morning. Should bring an end to the remainder of any precip across the region, expecting a dry day as we go throughout the remainder of the day today. So for a midday planner, giving way to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with this warm front north of our region, and during the overnight hours, start to see more warm air being advected over the region, which could trigger some scattered showers during the later portions of the overnight into tomorrow morning around daybreak. Expecting scattered showers, and then we'll start to see a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms begin to develop as a cold front begins to approach from the west, but will be stalling as it will be tough to make its way through our region tomorrow morning with Hurricane Florence, tomorrow and into the remainder of this week, with Hurricane Florence beginning to make its way westward towards the eastern United States, and also upper level region preventing this system from really making its way through the area. So as we look at the next 24 hours, rainfall has ended as of 10 a.m. this morning. Expecting cloudy skies, eventually giving way to mostly cloudy skies as we head into the early afternoon time frame. High temperature today expecting to be around 84 degrees. Winds will also begin to subside as well. Expecting east-southeasterly winds later this morning at 10 to 15 knots, eventually becoming east-southeasterly at 7 to 12 knots. Ceilings will also be rising. Right now we have a ceiling at 800 feet. By noontime, that should rise to about 1,500 feet and then eventually 6,000 feet as we get into the later portions of this afternoon. And we'll have a slight chance for some shower activity again after 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then a better chance after 5 a.m. as we head towards daybreak, and then chances for showers and possible thunderstorms will continue to increase as we get into the mid-morning to afternoon time frame tomorrow. For Tuesday, it will be mostly cloudy and humid with a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms with a cold front on our doorstep with a high of 86 degrees. Tuesday, much of the same, mostly cloudy with a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms with a low of 75 degrees. And then Wednesday, pretty much a repeat, mostly cloudy with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. And we'll start to see our onshore winds begin to increase with a high of 85 degrees as as the initial impacts from Florence begin to be felt across the eastern United States. Speaking of Florence, right now, as of 5 a.m. update, we had a sustained wind of 90 knots with a minimum central pressure of 969 millibars. It is a Category 2 hurricane. By the next update, which is expected to be coming in the next hour or so, we are expecting this to be a major hurricane with winds over 110 miles per hour and becoming a Category 3 hurricane as it will be passing well south of Bermuda. But for the forecasted track by the National Hurricane Center, it looks like it will be making impact along the eastern United States as we'll start to have a strong area of high pressure that will be building to our north which is going to prevent the system from really recurving and going out to sea. Right now, with model trends the way they are, it looks like we are expecting landfall. It could occur anywhere from South Carolina into portions of North Carolina. It looks like it's going to spare the eastern shore, barring any sort of major changes, but the main area of impacts looks to be the Carolinas. And from our perspective, it's looking like we're pinpointing more where the National Hurricane Center is saying, mainly between Wilmington, North Carolina, and Cape Lookout, as this system continues to track eastward. Forecast guidance has really narrowed in on that area as well over the past several days. As you can see, most of the major hurricane models showing that landfall south of the Cape Hatteras area into southern North Carolina. And again, depending on how strong this high pressure system is off to our north, we could see this track fluctuate a bit, but more likely than not, it will actually fluctuate more south and northward as we go throughout the next several days and this forecast track becomes more certain. From our perspective here at Wallops, it looks like we'll start to see the initial impacts late Wednesday, as we'll start to see our winds begin to increase out of an onshore component, still remaining below advisory criteria, but it looks like winds will be increasing throughout the day on Thursday, and then Friday afternoon looks like it will be the expected landfall for this system again in the Carolinas, and that looks to be about Friday afternoon. Looks to be about our time frame where we should expect our highest wind impact from the system, should the forecast track continue to be on point. And we'll see potential wind gusts of up around 40 miles per hour here at Wallops. Mainly the concerns would be more of these the sustained onshore winds over a long period of time. Could see the potential impacts from some coastal flooding, storm surge, and some higher winds. The heavy rainfall looks to spare us, as well as we'll start to see some outer bands from this system reach our area on Thursday and then continue into Friday and Saturday. But models are somewhat waffling in terms of what the final end game is of the system. Some of the models show the system pushing its way inward and then eventually dying out, which would be a good thing for the Wallops area, as we'll really only see some light rainfall from the system, light to moderate rainfall, and those higher winds on Wednesday. Another potential solution, although unlikely, would be the GFS, where it has the system making landfall somewhat retrograding back to the east and then kind of just meandering over the Carolinas, and we'd have sustained impacts, especially in the Tidewater region. We'd see some devastating flooding from that scenario. We would also see some higher tides and flooding as well with that sustained onshore winds and some heavier rainfall potential. But right now, looks like more of the latter scenario in terms of having the system make its way inward, further inland, and with the just the outer rain bands reaching our area Friday and Saturday, as well as Thursday. And then again, max winds looking like around 40 miles per hour at this time. Just looking at a quick check at the intensity guidance, is expected to reach Category 4 status over the next 24 to 36 hours. And that looks like we're about where it'll max out, as it should be in favorable environment as it continues to progress westward in a low shear and with water temperatures, fairly deep columns of water temperatures in the 70s and 80s as it continues to progress eastward. We'll continue to monitor Hurricane Florence over the next couple days and issue updates throughout the day today and continuing throughout the week. Stay tuned for further updates. Have a great day.